I would like to call to order the Board of Education meeting 1611. 2.0, additions, deletions, corrections, and modifications. Dr. Lake, do we have any changes to the agenda?
We do not.
Approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Was that Andy? And then Rachel. Okay, perfect. We have a motion by Andy, a second by Rachel. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Okay, next we will do the Pledge of Allegiance, and I would like to invite Paul and Hannah from Long Elementary, and then I would like to invite all students from Long to come up and help Paul and Hannah.
It's right up here, buddy.
Perfect, right there.
Whenever you guys are ready.
Squeeze in there. I'll get around those two. Thank you so very much. You did a good job. All right, 4.0, Special Recognitions and Learning Report and Student Representative Report. We'll start with 4.01, Long Elementary Special Recognition. And I will turn it over to Dr. Phillips and Dr. Copel to present these recognitions.
Hi, good evening. We're so excited to see so many of you up here. Dr. Koppel and I are going to recognize first our Teacher of the Year, and that is Mr. Tim Waters, if you don't mind coming on up. All right, I could say a lot about Tim, but I wrote it down so I could say all the right things. Mr. Waters is a dedicated and innovative educator who goes above and beyond in his role. Mr. Waters embodies the qualities of an exceptional leader and educator. He fosters a strong sense of community in his classroom, and I feel like that's evident by the former students who have chosen to come up here this evening to recognize him. Beyond the classroom, it is not uncommon to see Mr. Waters staying after school with Service Club or supporting students at a basketball game over the weekend. He is always the first person to volunteer whenever someone needs help, and he's always ready to lend a helping hand, and it is my absolute honor that he is the Long Teacher of the Year and the Missouri Regional Teacher of the Year.
Mr. Waters, congratulations. We have a certificate here recognizing you as Teacher of the Year, so there's that for you. And then most importantly, we have a $30 gift certificate to our online Spiritware store so you can get some swag. There you go. Beth's going to give us a picture right here. So. We got to go that way. She wants us in front of that plane.
Too far. We'll go a little bit over.
There we go.
The first one's always the hardest.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks again.
Right?
All right, our next recognition for this evening is the 23-24 school year Support Staff of the Year, Mrs. Andrea Kibler. Woo! All right, so Miss Kibler is a vital part of the Long community. As the math interventionist at Long, she shows up each day ready to support our students and take their learning in math to the next level. She ensures that each student she works with is highly engaged, feels valued, and finds confidence in themselves as a mathematician. Mrs. Kibler works closely with classroom teachers to align her instruction with ongoing lessons to ensure seamless support for all of her students. Mrs. Kibler always goes the extra mile for the students at Long. Whenever a need arises, she quickly responds with a smile and a genuine, "I'm happy to help. What can I do?" Her passion, dedication, and willing spirit is what makes her a key member of the Long family. We appreciate you so much, Miss Andrea.
All right, now I'd like to ask Mr. Paul Stanzi to come on up here. All right, Paul, I'm going to say some really nice things about you. Are you ready? And first of all, if you didn't see Paul help his little brother say the Pledge of Allegiance by putting his arm around him, that just sums up Paul right there. But I'm going to read some words that his teacher has written about him because she's had the honor of having him for 2 years. Paul is an exceptional student who embodies our long core values of leadership, responsibility, respect, and kindness. He is a natural leader. Paul leads quietly through actions and character, inspiring others to show integrity, improve their work ethic, and maintain a positive attitude. Paul demonstrates responsibility in his behavior and learning throughout the school day, consistently exceeding personal goals and academic expectations. His genuine passion for learning and willingness to help others reach their goals sets him apart. Paul treats everyone with respect, listening intently and fostering a happy, safe environment. His kindness shines through as he includes others without judgment, befriends new students, and offers encouragement to his peers. With his warm, welcoming demeanor and contagious smile, Paul inspires those around him to be their best. He truly stands out as a role model for others.
Congratulations, Paul. We have a certificate here recognizing you as Student of the Month, so that's for you. And then we have a T-shirt for you as well, so congratulations. Good job.
All right, and next we would like to welcome up Hannah Peterson. Come on up, sweetie. All right, so we would like to honor Hannah Peterson. Hannah is a bright and compassionate fifth grader at Long Elementary who exemplifies the school's core values. Respect is evident in her polite interactions with teachers and peers, always listening attentively and valuing others' perspectives. Responsibility shines through her dedication to completing assignments with care and taking initiative to help keep the classroom organized. Hannah's leadership qualities are evident in her willingness to help others, whether it's assisting a struggling classmate or organizing group projects. Most importantly, Hannah's kindness radiates throughout the school, from her friendly greetings to her thoughtful gestures toward others. Hannah, we are grateful to have you as part of our Long family. You make our school a better place, one smile at a time.
So Hannah, we also have a certificate recognizing.
We're just going. This is a new format for us to do it this way, so I wasn't sure. All righty. Are we all, Mr. Davitt is getting it all ready. Thank you so much. Well, good evening. My name is Christina Phillips, and I'm honored to be the principal at Long Elementary School. Tonight with me is Dr. Koppel, our amazing new assistant principal, and we would like to take a moment to thank the Board of Education for their continued support. We are excited to share some highlights from Long Elementary and how they align with the Lindbergh Success Measures. Next slide, please, Mr. Davitt. Next slide. Awesome, thank you. The first measure tonight that we will talk about is growth and achievement. Tonight, I want to celebrate the achievement and growth of our students in ELA. This marks our second full year of using the Benchmark ELA resource in grades K through 5. As shown in this graph, our students are not only achieving at high levels, but also making significant progress. On this slide, you can see grades 3 through 5 and their current fall and winter ELA data. As a district, our goal is 80% of students will meet the average, high average, our high average quintile in achievement in ELA. At Long, after reviewing previous year's data, we have set our goal at 83% of students meeting this goal. As can be seen in our data, we are well on our way. Next slide, please. At Long, we are deeply committed to fostering the growth and success of every student. Recognizing the importance of student development, this graph highlights the progress made by our subgroups, including students who have an IEP, students who are multilingual learners, and students from homes eligible for free or reduced lunch. Each of these groups has demonstrated meaningful growth, reflecting our dedication to equitable learning environments for all. Please note the multilingual growth from fall to winter. This is something we are particularly proud of, and I would like to thank the Board of Education for the addition of a multilingual teaching assistant this year. Having 2 full-time adults dedicated to working with our students has clearly made an impact. It is wonderful to be able to provide both pull-out and push-in services for these students. Next slide, please.
At Long, we ensure that our students have the opportunity to collaborate not only with their peers, but also with members of the larger community as well. In the fall, Long had the opportunity to partner with the City of Crestwood to make a decision on an upcoming project taking place at Crestwood Park. Each student at Long had the opportunity to meet with Crestwood's mayor, Mayor Shipley, and casted their vote on which playground they thought would be the best addition to Crestwood Park. This collaboration allowed our students' voices to be heard on a project that will have a large impact on them in the very near future. In addition to collaboration, we also place a strong emphasis on the Lindbergh Life Success skill, identity, and agency. In order to support our students with identifying their own needs and self-regulation, we ensure that all classrooms have an R&R space, accessible to all students. R&R means a variety of things: reset, relax, recharge, whichever R you want to consider. Time in this space allows students to step away from a moment of learning, reset, and get their body ready to return back to their learning. To ensure consistency and continuity, all staff members were participating in professional learning on this topic and also received resources to create an R&R space in their own classroom. Finally, starting with our youngest learners, we encourage students to identify strengths and areas of growth in their own learning. The picture here shows our kindergarten students setting personal learning goals to excel their learning forward. As students show mastery, they highlight the success, then continue to the next level of their learning goal. The visual allows students to celebrate their successes with their classmates and support one another in their learning.
The next Lindbergh success measure that we're going to talk about is high quality teachers and employee wellness. At Long, we strive to ensure that our teachers and staff love their job and they enjoy coming to work each day. As part of this effort, the district administers climate and culture surveys twice a year. In October, 73% of employees reported enjoying their work environment and 75% expressed feeling valued as an employee. If we include the responses that include somewhat agree, we are at 93% of students or staff enjoying their work environment and 91% of staff members feeling valued at work. It is important to note that these results reflect input from all Long employees, including certified staff, classified staff, as well as our special school district colleagues. Every employee is part of the Long family. At Long, we are fortunate to have phenomenal teachers who not only give 100% every day to our students, but also continuously strive to grow and become better versions of themselves. In the first picture, you'll see 4 of our outstanding Lindbergh teachers presenting at a national conference. Shannon Rowe, a first grade teacher, and Jessica Ostrich, one of our instructional coaches, joined Dr. Sarah Balter and other Lindbergh educators to share their expertise. It is always inspiring to see our teachers leading and sharing their knowledge on a larger scale. The middle picture highlights Mrs. Bamer and Mr. Waters, 2 of our dedicated service club sponsors, accompanying our 4th and 5th grade students at the annual Salvation Army bell ringing events. Finally, I had the honor of standing alongside Mr. Tim Waters as he was recognized as a Regional Teacher of the Year. Next slide, please.
Next is student satisfaction. Just as Dr. Phillips shared, we put a great effort to ensure that our staff members feel valued at Long and love coming to work each day. The same is true for our students. Our number one priority is to provide students with a community where they feel supported, valued, and believed in. As administrators, Dr. Phillips and I find opportunities each day to build relationships with students, connect with families, and highlight student success. In this picture, you can see a first grade student sharing with a family member that she received a positive principal pass. Students receive positive principal passes throughout the week for showing their Long core values. These students then come to the office to be celebrated with a picture or a phone call home. These moments of celebration allow our students to be recognized for their hard work, and it brings immense joy to their faces each day. They also get to ring a bell really loud, and they love it. Teachers at Long prioritize relationships and community in their classrooms as well. They celebrate each student's growth, academic, social, and emotional, and highlight those students who demonstrate our core values of kindness, respect, and responsibility. Through class meetings, students share ideas and opinions in a supportive environment, while teachers create opportunities for peer interaction, helping them build meaningful connections with one another. As a result, our students look forward to coming to Long each day, feeling supported, connected, and valued in a community that truly cares about them. In addition to the community in the classroom, we also ensure that students are involved and connected outside of the classroom. As you can see, we have a high participation rate in many of our extracurricular activities, such as Service Club and a variety of music-focused organizations. These opportunities give students the chance to explore their passions and interests beyond what the average school days entails, helping them find a sense of accomplishment and pride. Many students are eager to engage in activities that inspire them, strengthening their connection to the school community. Long's teachers help students discover these passions, developing skills that enrich their school experience and last well beyond their elementary years.
It's also a great problem-solving activity to find out where 87 string students can go every day. All right, our final success measure of the evening is personalized learning. Over the past 2 years, Long students have focused on student goal setting and personalized learning. All students in grades K through 5 set academic goals using proficiency scales presented in student-friendly language. These scales help our students understand their current performance and identify next steps for growth. These pictures showcase a first grade classroom where students are setting writing goals, and through this process, students track their progress and can clearly articulate their goal and what steps they will be taking to achieve that goal and beyond. That is all we have for you this evening, and we welcome any questions.
I just want to say thank you for sharing that subgroup data. I think that's really awesome. And also, those reading scores, way to go.
Yeah, it's always great with that subgroup data, especially when you pointed out the ML students, to see that what is happening and the resources that they're getting, putting in another adult really does impact student growth and learning, and that's always really exciting to see.
Please, even though it's going really great, we still need that extra person. Please don't take them away. We don't want to work her out of a job.
You are, yes.
I always got to throw it in there.
You do.
Next on our agenda is 4.03, and a little bit of a governmental type presentation for our students. Oath of office for the 2025 student representative and student representative report. But first, we're going to do the oath of office. So RJ and Ms. Vetter, if you want to go out there.
Okay, you ready to repeat after me? Okay. I state your name, do solemnly affirm
I, RJ Del Rosario, do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
and the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
and that I will, to the best of my ability,
and that I will, to the best of my ability,
faithfully and impartially,
faithfully and impartially,
discharge the duties of the student representative of the Lindbergh Schools Board of Education.
discharge the duties of the student representative of the Lindbergh Schools Board of Education.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Yeah, whole board.
I'm really comfortable.
You know.
Where it fit in.
There's a slide for student advisory group that might be fun. Right, so next, RJ, do you want to give us a student report?
Absolutely. Good evening, everybody. Before I give my first report, I would like to once again thank Laura, the previous student representative, for the work she's done for the board in the 2024 year. Laura is truly a figure to look up to and advocates for the student body in exactly the way a representative should. She went above and beyond throughout her entire term, even going out of the way to train me to inherit her position this year. I hope as the 2025 representative, I can live up to her legacy. So once more, a round of applause for Laura, please. All right, moving into my report, I will start with the All Suburban concert performance, which happened over the weekend, where over 20 Lindbergh High School student band and orchestra students performed in the annual All Suburban performance, hosted by our high school for the first time. This hailed from districts all across the greater St. Louis area. The concert and jazz groups performed a variety of complex pieces. So later this month, many of these same students will go on to perform at the all-state level down in the Lake of the Ozarks. Additionally, the Lindbergh Junior Board Foundation approved a series of grants for clubs at the high school at the end of the fiscal year for this coming year. Clubs including the Muslim Students Association, the Speech and Debate Team, and even the Super Mario Club were approved for grants to fund projects such as homeless bag projects and competition funds for the groups. The Lindbergh Thespians also traveled to Union Station over the weekend to attend the annual state conference. So they attended a series of talks, competitions, and performances. Lindbergh students also won awards for our improv team, individual dances, and even our stage management. Finally, Laura and I went to Long Elementary School on Tuesday to meet with the Student Board Advisory Committee. We both appreciated the easygoing nature of this group because everybody knows here that elementary schoolers are super easy to work with, right? So in this meeting, we discussed how Lindbergh accommodated for differently able students, particularly on the playground. The Long students talked about the use of Braille, special ed teachers, and the accessibility of the terrain outside. We also discussed possible solutions to increase the number of accommodations, such as wheelchair-accessible swings and ramps, and increase safety precautions on some of the more dangerous equipment, like increased teacher involvement in the grounds during recess. Students were also able to identify issues they could solve in their own school, and I requested an additional 4 cello racks to be added to their orchestra program so that they could ensure every musician at the school had a spot. Following the meeting, Dr. Mason and I discussed the diversity in the selection program for these advisory groups and agreed to work more with the principals of every single school to ensure that we have a more accurate representation of the student bodies in the district. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good job. And thank you, Laura, out there. Okay, at this time, you are welcome. We're going to take a short break, and you are welcome to leave so as we don't continue to bore you with the business piece.
go ahead, we're gonna start. Yeah, go, you ready?
All right, so we are going to go ahead and continue with our meeting. I don't think this is going to work. 5.0 resolutions. We have one this evening, the National School Counseling Week resolution. Do I have a motion to approve the National School Counseling Week resolution as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Jen made the motion and Andy seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. 6.0 is citizen communication regarding agenda items. We do not have any this evening. 7.0 is communications. 7.01 is calendar of events. Ms. Vetter?
Thank you. Reminder, there is no school this coming Monday, January 20th, in observance of Martin Luther King Jr. Day. The Technology Advisory will meet Monday, January 27th, and then Teaching and Learning Advisory will meet on Tuesday, January 28th. Excuse me. Then Teaching and Learning is also scheduled to meet again on February 11th. So that's just before our next meeting, so we always like to make sure that information is out. Second trimester for pre-K and elementary ends on February 13th. No school Friday, February 14th, sad, and Monday, February 17th. The high school musical begins on Thursday, February 19th and runs through the 22nd. And then we're back here for our regular board meeting on Thursday, February 20th at 7 p.m. And as always, this meeting is open to the public.
Thank you. 7.02 is report of meetings. Board members, any state or other meetings, parent group meetings that you would like to report?
It was a nice 3-week break, and then this is like my 7th Lindbergh meeting this week. Great.
And next week. So I do want to report out on the legislative meeting that we were invited to at Hancock Place. It was a very good turnout. Senator Doug Beck was there, Representative Jim Murphy, Representative Bridget Walsh Moore, and newly elected County Council member Mike Archer. There were other boards there, and it was very nicely attended. Dr. Lake was there as well. And just each of the legislators stood up and talked a little bit about what their bills might be coming up. I'm not going to go through all of them, but one thing that Senator Beck said is that he is definitely in favor of protecting our funding. Remember the bill 727 that passed? He is all in and trying to protect us from the funding that is questionable on that. Representative Murphy asked the room if we all felt like we wanted to ban cell phones from basically school campuses, right? We've all heard that. We have them currently where they're not used in the classroom, but they're thinking about legislation where they're just completely not in school at all. And so he allowed us to respond, and the majority of us said, let us take care of that ourselves. You guys stay out of it, let us take care of it. Representative Walsh Moore, she's the new policy chair, and she was really funny. She said there's a lot of new legislators, so it's going to be her job to figure out how they're creating their policies and their bills and to straighten them all out. So she's like the trainer of the whole thing. Mr. Archer, it's the first time I've had a county council member to visit with, and his priorities are safety for schools and getting the permit department to take less time when approving for buildings.
Yes, I'll just leave it at that.
$1 million dollars.
Right, we were a fan of that. All felt like Jeff City is finished with education. Like there may be a few things popping up here and there, but they feel like the really big bill that that passed last year, they're going to allow us to figure that all out, and they're pretty much done with us. And all that attended were 4 public schools. Every single one of them. We're very proud to say I am in support of public schools. So I was excited about that. Anyway, that was it. That's all I have to report.
So I'll jump in and give a quick update. Beth covered it in the workshop, but the
the communications planning, it was a whole series of meetings, but it was really, really rewarding to be a part of it, to hear from the community members and be, really spitball and play with ideas on, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think here? And the engagement we got out of that, like, just well done to you, Beth, and to your team, and the Donovan group that you brought in. It was awesome. So great work.
Anybody else? No, we're good. Okay. 7.03 announcements. Ms. Vetter.
Thank you. We have two announcements tonight. One, the announcement of the Board of Education candidates. 5 candidates have filed for the 2 3-year terms of office, and their names will appear on the April 8th ballot as follows: Julia Voss, Jennifer Miller, Russell Dahmer, David Randleman, and Martin Verplank. Our second announcement is the Board of Education Candidate Forum. So a Board of Education Candidate Forum will be held on Monday, March 10th at 6:30 p.m., where candidates will have an opportunity to share their views and the community will have an opportunity to submit questions to the candidates. This event is here at Central Office and is run by the League of Women Voters and is open to the public.
Thank you. 7.04 is a review of upcoming Board of Education meetings and agendas.
We'll meet again on Thursday, February 20th at 7 p.m. for our regular board meeting. Tentative agenda items are our regular business items, board policy reviews or updates, official enrollment summary, A+ Schools program assurances, and Sappington Elementary School is scheduled to be here for recognitions. As always, these meetings are open to the public and patrons are always encouraged to attend.
Thank you. 7.05 is the MSBA Board Report.
Edition of the Missouri School Boards Association's Board Report. The start of the 2024-25 school year was a challenging one for many. In a 10-day period in 2024, Missouri had 310 threats of violence to our public and private schools. The threats disrupted learning, distressed students, families, and teachers, and have ongoing costs. On December 5th and 6th, MSBA Center for Education Safety team hosted a 2-day safety summit titled The Secret to Great Crisis Communications and Emergency Planning. The summit was designed for a wide variety of school leaders, and the content focused on crisis planning for school settings. Attendees were able to learn from several of the nation's leading experts in crisis management. Bolivar R1 board member and MSBA Vice President Paula Hubbard attended the summit and said that as a school board member, it is vital to receive continuous training on school safety.
As a school board member, I think it's just tantamount in our responsibilities to know what's happening in school safety. It's changing all the time. The technology is changing all the time. How we can do it better is changing all the time. The more we know and the more we can take back to our own district only helps us keep our kids and our staff safe. And that, as a school board member, as a school board leader and a community leader, is one of my primary responsibilities.
Hubbard says that school board members are a large part of a team that sets the tone for school safety in their districts.
I think one of the most important things I can do as a board member is help set the priority for our district. We designate the dollars in our budget. We allocate the time in our board meetings to discuss this. We set the policies that the entire district operates by. And so if it's not a priority to us, it can't be a priority for the district. We can't be just allocated to one person, one designated person to handle safety for the entire district. It takes all of us. It takes our school, it takes our community, it takes our region. We have to be able to respond. We have to think ahead. We have to plan ahead.
According to Hubbard, investing in school safety sends a message to the community.
I hope it says to our community that our priorities are right. That the most important thing to us is you and your children. If we can't protect our children, what else are we doing? That's our priority. And so when we ask our community for help and we say, this is what else we need, we've told that story over and over, that we care about you, we're gonna demonstrate how we care about your safety, and so we need to partner together to do some things. And so sometimes when parents can't get into the building as quickly as they would like, and we hear that sometimes, why do I have to go through the locked door? Why do I have to have a background check? It's because we care about your children. And we've told that story enough that we have fans in our community who can also tell our story, who can say, no, we need this in our community. We've got to keep ourselves safe. We've got to keep our kids safe.
Kelly Wachel, Chief Communications Officer in the Park Hill School District, says that continuous learning on school safety is a community demand.
We know that safety is a priority in our communities and our school districts. And safety is not a one-time thing. It's an ongoing, evolving emotion, feeling, fact, procedural piece. And so it's a continual learning piece. We're always learning best practices, what we can do differently, how we can adjust, how we evaluate what's working well. And so our community demands from us that we know a lot about safety and we know a lot about how to respond and take care of people to keep them safe. So when our community demands that, wants that rightfully so, it's our job to continue learning and continue practicing and continue evolving with what the best safety procedures, practices, solutions are.
Visit the MSBA website for information about upcoming safety trainings and events. As always, money matters. MSBA has upcoming workshops and webinars to help you plan for your next school budget. On Wednesday, February 5th, MSBA is hosting the Budget Planning and Preparation Workshop in Columbia. This workshop provides something for all administrators who are responsible for developing and presenting the annual budget. And on Wednesday, March 5th, don't miss the Long Range Financial Planning and Budgeting webinar. Plus, register now for MSBA's Spring Advocacy Series. This series helps you connect the classroom to the Capitol and make an impact in shaping education policy. The large incoming class of freshman legislators in the Missouri House and Senate means your insights as a local school leader will be critical, and your connections can really make a difference. Log on to the Advocacy Lunch and Learns for the latest updates in the legislative session and plan to attend MSBA's Advocacy Day and Student Showcase with your school board to meet your legislators at the Capitol on March 11th. For more information about all of these events, visit the MSBA website. That's it for this month. Thank you for allowing us to have some time at your board meeting, and we'll see you in February for the next MSBA Board Report.
Alrighty. 8.0 Special Reports. 8.01 Cabinet Updates. And tonight we will start with Joelle Scheibel.
Thank you. This week we had our Finance Committee meeting, which of course always precedes the board meeting. We went over the financial statements, kind of dived into contracts a little bit this month. As all contracts, you know, that are signed by the district are available in the board docs. So we went into that. And then we did have some lively discussion about the progress of the construction work in the district. And though it's not very visible right now in all areas, there is a lot going on. And Crestwood is close, you know, next school year, Crestwood will be up and running. And that couldn't have happened without the board being proactive and, you know, approving the resolution to spend funds in advance. As when the bond issue passed and we were successful, the next day it was shovel ready to go. So Crestwood is eating lunch in the classroom right now. So not in the classroom, yeah, in the classroom right now, and so that they can work on the cafeteria space. But we'll see some new spaces there when the kids arrive next school year.
Awesome. Thank you. Next, Dr. Tara Sparks.
Well, as Megan shared, we have 2 teaching and learning meetings coming up over the next couple of weeks because we did reschedule due to the emergency weather days. So we were supposed to have a teaching and learning meeting last week that was focused on our work around reading success plans. That has been moved to January 28th, and then February 11th is our regularly scheduled meeting. Student Life did get to meet last week because we came back to school on Thursday, and we have a thread of topics that are weaving their way through our Student Life Board Advisory this year. We spent the bulk of the time reviewing our social emotional learning practices, everything from our screening to our resources, and having conversations about the fact that we are getting ready to renew and look at switching out those resources in the upcoming short term. And then we got into small groups to do some follow-up conversations about artificial intelligence and Diploma Plus, and how we can continue to market and support families understanding the programs that are available to our students. And those conversations are going to continue in our next meeting as well. And technology has not met since the last time we met, so there's no technology board advisory update.
Thank you. Next, Dr. Brian McKinney.
Yes, the HR advisory met this past week, and we discussed the comprehensive classified. Megan, you're smiling at me, and you're putting me off task here.
I'm always smiling.
I missed a joke or something in my hair.
I'm excited about what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was very exciting. It was 20 minutes, great, very well spent. We talked about the comprehensive classified support staff compensation study, and we also talked about the monthly personnel report. Very brief meeting as they are, which is good.
Mr. Dominic Jaggi, you are next.
Oh.
You don't have anything,
We did not meet last.
You did not
We
meet.
did not meet since, we'll meet on the 27th.
but you had an amazing presentation in our workshop.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
about
you,
AI.
Colin.
All right, thank you so much. 9.0, action items by consent. We have action items by consent 9.01 to 9.09 this evening. Does anyone wish to remove any of the items for individual consideration? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve consent items 9.01 to 9.09?
So moved.
Second. Oh, Rachel. It was Rachel.
Jen made the motion, and who wasn't Rachel? I already forgot. Rachel was a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. 10.0, individual action items. We have one this evening. 10.01 is for Lindbergh High School Athletic Complex improvements. To open discussions, do I have a motion to approve Lindbergh High School Athletic Complex improvements as presented?
So moved.
Second. I didn't hear her. Sorry. Oh, okay. So we have a motion by Matt and a second by Megan. Any discussion? Joelle will be our leader on this one.
I'm
Questions?
gonna lean on Dr. Lake for the sports part, but I can tell you the financial.
It's fine,
Financial, we did go through the competitive process as far as this with our membership in cooperative purchasing. So we went out to get the best price we could on the project, and Dr. Lake will tell you the why.
Yeah, so it's, our track at the high school is at its life, it's over. So it's time to replenish the track and redo the track. So that's part of this project, and to turf that last field, which is the field that field hockey, lacrosse is predominantly played on. So they will now have a turf field as well. And so that work will start as soon as track season ends in the spring. They will come in, bulldozers, and we will take out the track, and we'll actually put the field in first and then do the track as they work their way out. Part of this improvement also is when we did the parking lot and we did some work with the road that goes all the way around the auditorium at the high school, we built that big retaining wall, which encroached on a drive that used to be able to access ambulance to that field. Now there's only one access point for ambulance. They have to go to the main entrance and drive over to the track field, which is not great, but it works. So part of this also will be to put part of a service road back in there that an ambulance can get right to that from that side of the campus as well. So those are some of the improvements.
Joelle, can you just take a second in our information, and everybody can see it, but for our audience tips through the program tips, can just a little explanation?
Sure. TIPS is a cooperative program where the bids are let annually. School districts can be involved in that program, and they manage the cumbersome big part of putting out bids to vendors across the nation and securing the best prices. And then they allow school districts with a membership, a free membership, to be part of that co-op and buy off of those bid prices. So the district is members of several co-ops. Education Plus is one that has a purchasing co-op. TIPS is another, buy board. So it's really utilizing economies of scale, I guess, and bringing a lot of people at one table. Instead of Lindbergh School District going out to bid on its own, they're able to bid and get more volume and get better pricing. So we use those as we can. And that is a competitive bid process per our policy that is allowable.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so all in favor?
I just wanted to say one thing. It's in our documentation, but I don't think anybody said it. For anybody listening, this is a prop project. This isn't like extra money. This is in the prop.
All in favor of approving the Lindbergh High School Athletic Complex improvements? Aye. Say aye.
Aye.
Is it 7? All 7, okay. Opposed? 0. Motion passes 7-0. 11.0 is reports. There are no reports for 11.01, 02, or 03, so we will move. Oh, we do have for, no. So we will move on to 11.0301, review of board policies, ECA and JHDE. This is the first reading. These policies have been brought forward to us tonight. Upon review, if you have any questions, board members, Dr. McKinney is responsible for that. There are no other 11.0 items this evening. 12.0 is a recess. We've already conducted our executive session, so there's no need for us to move to conducted our executive session. So no need for us, whatever. We're going to 14.0 adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn board meeting 1611?
So moved.
Andrew.
Second.
And a second by Megan. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Board member 1611 is adjourned.